I'm good, sir.
Yeah, you look quite bright. You are at the moment in Bangalore or Panipat?
I'm in Panipat right now.
Panipat. Why?
Yes,
Why
sir.
have you gone to Panipat?
It was work from home in Bangalore, so I shifted to Panipat for a while.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. Okay, you seem to be quite qualified into data analyst nowadays.
Yes, sir.
That's the future of computing, artificial intelligence and data analysis.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So what
Yes.
exactly you do in your data analysis?
So right now I'm working at Tekio in India.
Okay.
So we get the data from the car dealerships in US. Most of our
Okay.
clients are based in US.
Mm-hmm.
So we analyze their data, their accounting records, their customer behavior, and we make
Okay.
recommendations to them.
So you're doing jasusi.
No, we,
It
we
amounts
are.
to, if you start finding out about my habits and everything, Anna, if I'm a customer of your company and you start finding it is jasusi only quietly.
No, no, no. We make recommendations on the vehicle, like
Okay,
the condition of the vehicles and how should they be modified so as to get maximum performance.
okay, understood. Chalo, good. That's a very interesting field you are working in,
Yes,
and
sir.
it has got a lot of future now. No?
Yes, sir.
What's your view?
I think data is actually the new gold,
Yeah,
and only by analyzing the proper data we can get to the proper solutions to the problems.
yeah, absolutely correct. Okay, I've gone through your PIQ. I find that you did extremely well in your academics.
Yes, sir.
And you were in commerce side. From commerce, how did you or why did you change over to this electronic or technical side?
No, I was in the science side.
Okay,
12th I completed with physics, chemistry, maths,
okay.
and engineering I did from mechanical engineering and IT Kurukshetra.
But you did BCom also in between.
No, no, BTech.
But
BCom was my sister.
okay, that's your sister. I think I've got a little misled. Okay, anyway, so you are a technical side throughout.
Yes, sir.
I find you have gone to SSB many times,
Yes, sir.
so you must be expert in SSB now. No?
I don't think that would be an area I would like to be expert in.
Okay, anyway. But after each this SSB, have you analyzed yourself?
I take some time out of my schedule to analyze myself after each SSB. I
Okay.
try to concentrate on the problems which I have gone through
Uh-huh.
and how could I have done better.
Okay.
That's the thing I do.
Right. So now Colonel Prasad has also briefed you or coached you regarding the requirements for SSB. So SSB technique as such is not required for you, but you should be knowing what is the requirement.
Yes, sir.
So, why do you think you want to join the armed forces? You have done so many attempts, and you seem to be determined. So, half your officer-like qualities you have already got by going so many times, trying again and again. Your determination, your stamina, everything you have shown, plenty. And intellectual side also, you have done very well so far in your life. So, most of it you have got it. But still, I just want to know why you want to join the armed forces.
So, starting from my early childhood, there was an accident in my childhood, and my ankle was broken, fractured. So, while recovering from the ankle, my school principal was Colonel G.C. Mittal.
Okay.
So, my father works in the same school, so I had quite close interaction with him. So, he
Mhm.
used to call me Fauji every time, whenever he used to see me recovering from it.
Okay.
And under his close observation, I used to appreciate the qualities of an officer or a soldier, and I got the hint that anybody who appears to be strong or is committed to be strong is known as a soldier.
Okay.
Later in life, while doing my BTech, I joined NCC and came in close touch with the army life. And since then, I decided to make it a part of my life.
Okay. So, what all attributes you think you have in yourself which the army requires?
I have physical toughness.
Yeah, what all attributes you think I'm good in this, I'm good in that. Therefore, the army is the most suitable career for me.
I have physical toughness.
Okay.
I'm strong at my mental aptitude.
Okay.
I have strong control over my emotions.
Hmm.
I have strong social adaptability.
Okay.
I can adapt, and I'm flexible enough to adapt myself into any situation.
Hmm.
And I think I have the attitude of not giving up and
Okay.
keep going whatever the circumstances.
I see. That's very nice. So you have during your NCC days been a under officer.
Yes,
Tell
sir.
me what all responsibilities did you undertake and how did you fulfill those responsibilities?
So while I was under officer in my third year at NCC, our ANO, who was Captain VK Bajpayee, was quite busy in his. He was also a professor in our college, so he was quite busy. So I used to have the responsibility of conducting the class twice every week and keeping the record of the attendance, keeping the record of uh, the food that you provide to the cadets after the parade, submitting the attendance and the records of the accounts into the battalion, and keeping the cadets motivated enough to come and participate in the parade every day.
Okay, that's nice. Then you have been a good sportsman also, basketball, weightlifting, athletics,
Yes,
and
sir.
yoga also.
Yes, sir.
Weightlifting and yoga, you have got, at some level you have got awards also.
Yes, sir.
So how many friends did you make during this time?
Yoga I did in my early school life, and weightlifting I did while I was in my college. So while weightlifting, I joined a team that was there existing already, and I was new to the team. And a lot of the athletes over there were either junior to me in college or in MTech. So I did not have any friends already over there, and I was very new to the team, and they had practiced very much already. So my task over there was first getting accustomed to them and feel that I was one among them and feel like a team player. uh, Often their motivation was not as strong. Like while going to the competition, All India Inter 90, it was just 6 months uh, into the fourth year when I joined the team. So their motivation was not as high because the competition over there is very very tough. So my first job was to get them cheered up enough, and slowly I gained their confidence and became a team member. And whenever needed, whenever the our captain who was in MTech was not available, I used to lead the team, and they all respected me very much because a lot of the people over there were the cadets in my NCC also. So I had some understanding over there, and the rest I established.
Okay, so similarly in basketball and athletics also you have made a lot of friends.
Basketball I used to play with my friends only, like from my college or my class itself. So
Okay,
there I was already accustomed to the players. It was very casual matches. We used to go every
so
morning just for the physical fitness.
okay, during your studies, these academic days, how many friends did you have? What qualities did you see in a person to make him your friend? Which are the type of people you did not make them your friends and why?
So the best friends I had were Vikas and Ashish, who were also a part of my NCC. Vikas was my senior officer, and Ashish was my sergeant. So they were the best people I could trust at any point of time for me. One of the qualities of Vikas I would like to state was like whenever I used to for SSB while I was in college in my fourth year. So at times I used to return quite late from an SSB, even at 2 or 3 in the night. And I knew I could trust Vikas enough that he would come to receive me on the station because Kurukshetra junction is very secluded in the night. So I could trust them with uh, everything I had at any point of time in my life.
Mhm.
Similarly, Ashish, he was there for me whenever I needed anything. Uh, he was uh, he was a great sportsman and a great academician itself. So whenever I needed any help or whenever he needed any help, we could trust each other, and that was the thing that uh, helped our friendship grow. And we were brothers almost till the end of our college. So trust is something that I found very appealing in those guys. And something that did not inspire me in a person was their behavior towards others. If a person is very rude to anybody, like be it any senior or any junior or anybody, then I used to resist myself from getting into their company.
Can you narrate what the instances somebody who behaved rudely to you?
Not to me, but let's say some janitor was there in a hostel once, and somebody who did not behave properly with them, or somebody who called them names after they were gone, or complained about them even when it was not their fault. So that was something I did not like very much.
Okay.
Yes.
But you had so many activities, say you have college, you have school, college, boarding, NCC, basketball, weightlifting, athletics, yoga. But you had only two good friends. Why so?
They were my best. They were my best friends. Like the
Yeah.
people who are still in my touch.
Yeah, that's what my only question is. Just to query, why only two? There will be many more.
Yeah, there are many more, but I just named them because they were the people who I could trust with everything. There are many more good friends in my class or in my first year group. So there are many good friends.
So what all activities you indulge in with your good friends? Not the best friends, good friends also.
So good friends, like the ones who were in my since my first year. So some of them were part of my aero modeling club, which we designed an ornithopter there. It was with them who I played basketball every morning for physical fitness. It was with them who I studied, spent time studying. We had established our small group discussion group over there. So they were the people who were there.
Okay. That's very interesting to learn that you are in aero modeling also. You were in which NCC, Army, Navy or Air Force?
Army.
Throughout?
Yes, sir.
All the 3 years? You were in NCC
Yes,
for
sir.
3 years, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So why did you go for aero modeling then?
Aero modeling was a new club in our college, and it appeared very promising.
Okay.
And the seniors trusted us with their projects. So ornithopter was something which caught our eye because it is not a conventional flying machine. It has movable wings, and it works very well as a stealth agent.
Mm-hmm.
So that was what caught our eye, and that's why we joined the aero modeling club.
Okay. So in these group activities, all these group activities, what all did you think you learned from them?
So the first thing was team spirit, like not leaving a person behind. So it was an instance at our NCC camp once when we had to participate in the 10K cross country race, and like from our NCC and NIT Kurukshetra, 6 of the people went into the farms to chop on a ganna and other things. So as soon as they entered the village, they were caught by the CEO.
Okay.
So like 30 of us had to go and finish the race, and when we returned, we got to know that 6 of us were already left behind and did not even start the race.
Okay.
So we finished our ragda with them. Even after we had completed 10K cross country race, we finished our ragda with them. Then again in the next morning we finished our ragda. So it gave us immense sense of camaraderie and team spirit, which we enjoyed, and from which we learned very much. That even if when somebody has cheated or somebody has not done very fair at something, we still have to consider them a part of our team.
Okay, good. Now you tell me about your boarding life. They say somebody has to send his son or kid to the boarding. So the parents, what will you tell them? Good points about boarding and bad points. These days you have only one odd kid. So sending a kid to the boarding is a very difficult decision for the parents, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So what all do you think are the points which you will tell your those parents?
So there are parents who approach me for advices for their children, So the first thing I say to them is never send your children to boarding school till class 12th, because they also need the support of the parents and the love of the parents, and it is not fair to uh, take that away from them. So after 12th, they also need they also need to learn some skills which they may not have learned while being at home. So after 12th is when they get matured and can take decisions on their own. So then they can go to the boardings. But till 12th, they need the support of their parents. They need the
Okay.
directions from their parents.
Okay. After 12th, what are the good points and bad points about boarding?
Good points is you meet a lot of friends. You are quite very independent. You have to take your own decisions. You have to be considerate enough to choose your friends wisely. If you fall down, you have to get up yourself. So it gives a sense of independence to you.
Okay.
But you have
That's
to be
very
wise.
nice.
You have to be wise enough to take the chances cautiously.
Okay. Then after your boarding, how long did you stay at home and then joined your job?
After I completed my BTech around May, and I joined around July.
Okay, so within a month. So in that short gap, what all did you do?
I had SSBs in that short gap,
Okay,
so a lot of the time I was out of my house.
okay,
So most of the time I spent around, preparing for an SSB or preparing for my leave. That's it.
okay. So after you joined your job, how did you find adjusting in Bangalore?
Bangalore was a very good place in the start. Like in the start or even now, it's a great place.
Good place in the
So
sense, what do you mean by that?
Bangalore has a great weather, which everybody almost starts with. Then Bangalore gives you a great city life. Uh,
What
we
does
had
city life? What does city life mean again?
like I'd come from Panipat, a population of around 12 lakhs or something,
Mhm.
and Bangalore is a city of 1.2 crores.
Okay,
So you will get a new experience almost every day. You will get to deal with a lot of people. You'll have to be smart enough to find your ways around the city. So it gives you immense opportunities to develop yourself, and there will be places where you'll get stuck, and it is just you who can pull yourself out of those situations.
okay. So suppose you get stuck in Bangalore where locals, you are against the locals and you think
Mhm.
you're right in a mall, say,
Okay,
what would be your reaction there?
so I'll apologize to them and try to explain them my side very calmly, and then try to set up some connections so that they understand my situation, and try to convince them that I'm not meaning any harm to them.
But if it was so simple as it is, you wouldn't have had a problem. No?
Yeah, but people get
So they get
people.
agitated. One of them, he tries to push you around.
Then I'll simply ask my leave.
Sorry?
I'll simply ask my leave.
You'll ask what?
I'll ask to leave. I'll leave the place.
Achha, you will leave the place
Yeah.
and go back to your room.
No, I'll just leave them alone. Like
Achha, leave
I'll
them.
distance myself from them.
So one of them catches you en route near the parking where there is nobody.
It is
Then what?
it is fine for people to get angered. Like
No, it's fine. But
people
it
deal
can
with it.
happen that somebody is
Yeah,
saying that
I'll try
you
to
have
calm.
wrong. So he comes and pushes you around in the parking again.
Yeah,
And
I'll
he
try to
says,
calm them.
huh?
I'll try to calm them.
But your trying doesn't help. He starts hitting you.
I can defend myself.
No, no. I'm not talking about what you can
Yeah,
do. What will you
yeah.
do?
I'll defend myself. Yes.
He gives you two blows on your face. Then,
Uh, it is not very easy to just give two blows to somebody on their face. So I'll try my best
yeah,
to
it's
defend
not
myself.
easy. But he has given in his anger, he just didn't like your way you behaved. So he just gives you two socks on your face.
Yeah, I'll still apologize and call for security.
You apologize, security is not around. Now he catches your collar and pulls you, and you lose your balance.
I'll just remain calm in the situation. I cannot do anything else. Like if somebody is hitting me.
He's abusing you also simultaneously. This is what generally the young blood does. No?
I think, like for my experiences, the young blood is very like isn't very involved in the fightings. Like
Yeah, they're
there
not
are very
involved. But you can never say Bangalore people come from all over the country, isn't it?
yeah,
So
but
one of the ruffians who is actually there, maybe working somewhere, just may not be doing a white collar job like you, but he is there and he thinks all these people are chocolate boys. I can sort them out, any one of them. That's it. It's in his head. He's also a good wrestler and boxer also.
then I'll just leave the place.
No, he's not letting you leave the place. He has caught your collar and he is abusing you and he is manhandling you. He's abusing you on your mother, your sister, all those Hindi this thing, abuses.
I'll just distance myself from him as much as I can.
Okay. Tell me, why won't you hit him back?
There's no point hitting somebody back. Like
Okay.
if you just hit somebody back, he'll come back with more people or he'll come back with more anger. Like there's no point hitting somebody when he is either that agitated or that angered.
Did you ever get in a brawl with your friends or in college or during your job now?
No.
No. So
No.
very good. You are a very balanced, matured person now. Can I say that?
Yeah.
Very nice. Chalo. Because in your childhood and all, at least nowadays, there are a lot of fights in schools, colleges. You used to break them apart.
I haven't faced any situations where people fight. Like
Okay.
people are very educated around me, and
Okay. In Panipat also?
Yeah.
I heard a different story about Haryana, Punjab. They keep fighting every now and then.
The stories come from the people who fight.
Okay. Good. Now, tell me about your job actually. What all you do? How is your daily routine? Right from the morning you get up till the time you go to sleep at night. Everything that you do. Okay.
So I get up around 6 when I am at my when I have to go to my office. I finish a workout for around 40 minutes or so, and then I spend some time cooling off. Then I read my newspaper, and around 8 I start getting ready. I make my breakfast, which is usually eggs and milk, and around 9:30 I leave for my office. My office is around 30-minute walk from my place. So I walk to my office, and around 10 I settle at my office. Then I leave the office around 7:30. I spend some time working out after my office, 30 minutes or so, quickly at the gym, and then I come back to my apartment. There I make my dinner and sleeping time.
And on holidays, weekends?
Weekends, the morning schedule is still same. Apart from that, I instead of working out in the morning, I go for a run. It's usually at the Kaban Park with my friend. And after the run, while returning, we go to his place while having a breakfast at a restaurant. So while returning, we just have the breakfast. Then I come back to my place and finish the newspaper and try to indulge myself in some light reading. Then I make my own lunch. Then after a quick glance at the newspapers, in the evening I go for my quick workout. And while spending time with my roommate, usually we close off the day with some light music.
Okay, so what type of reading you do?
I read mostly all of the books, all of the genres: fiction, non-fiction, real life based events.
Which is the last book did you read? Tell me about that book in details.
The last book I read was The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari. It was by Robin Sharma. It's about a man who is very busy in his daily life and has almost reached the point where he has a heart attack because of the stress. Then after that, he decides to take a break from life and get his youth back, which he lost in all of the years of practicing of being a lawyer. He goes into the hills of Himalayas and learns meditation from the sages of Sivana. He learns the secrets of life and how can he truly find happiness.
What have you learned from this book?
What I've learned from this book is happiness comes from the simplest of the things. If you ignore the simplest of the things, you will never find happiness. One of the simplest of the things mentioned in the book was observe a rose and its petals. While observing a rose, we can smell it and just move further away from it. But we do not take time to appreciate its petals or the simplicity of the rose.
Mm-hmm.
So what I've learned is learn the happiness from the most simplest thing from life.
Okay, good. And now we talk about your family background. Okay, right from your school days onwards, whenever you are at home, tell me, how did you help your family? I'm not talking about financial aspect. So till the time you went for boarding, how were your with your sister? You got a sister.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, your relations with your sister. What all you did together? What all you? How did you help your family as such? You know, father separately, mother separately, sister. What all work did you do at home, on holidays, on other days? Describe me about that.
So when I was in my school life, so I used to help my family members in like my sister. I used to help while studying, basically maths. She was particularly weak at maths, so I used to help her that way. With my mother, I used to help while cleaning the house. So I have a thing for cleaning. So usually I help her with jhadu pocha and the regular dusting. With a father, I've learned like he is a clerk, so he has a lot of work with Excel. So my Excel I learned from him. So I used to help a lot of time with his work, and through that I learned Excel. Apart from that, we used to play at home, uh, simple quizzes, and that's how I used to spend my days. Basically, either studies or helping out with the daily course.
Mhm. Okay. Now in the company that you're working in Bangalore, okay,
Yes, sir.
the boss, he tells you one day, okay, Upanshu, you organize a party for all our your teams and others, and it should be on a weekend in one of the distant places, say about 10-15 kilometers from Bangalore, where you can see the nature and things like that. How will you plan? What all planning will you do firstly? What all will you plan? And how will you execute this task given to you by your boss?
So first of all, I would make a list of all the people who would be coming. That would be around 40 people or so. So after that, I would arrange the cost of the resort to which we would be going. I would consult with the resort that we would need a place for 40 odd people on a particular Sunday morning, and I would arrange the prices. I would get the prices from 3-4 resorts nearby and get the list of facilities. Then we would select one place, and then we would get the payments done. I would arrange a bus for them. Uh, so make a mail chain, start a mail chain where I would inform everybody the pickup stops of the bus and or what time will we pick up the people from the spots. We will arrange their phone numbers and um, the meals would be arranged at the resort. That's it.
Okay. So you will go, you will come back in the bus. What
Yes.
all activities you would have planned during the picnic, during their short trip to the resort?
So at resort, we would organize some team building activities like the simple activities like tug of war, or a match of football, a volleyball match, and then some time at the pool, some rain dance, and light meals. Arrange a first aid for anybody to get hurt or something. That's it.
So after the rain dance, everybody says, we don't have any clothes now. What do you do? You
The rain
never,
dance.
you never told us about it.
Usually, the clothes for the rain dance are provided at the resort.
Resort provides
Yes.
every individual.
Yes.
That's very nice.
For swimming pool and resort, for the rain dances,
They provide the clothes.
yes.
You change and you use their clothes for they get wet, so that you come back in your clothes.
Yes.
Is it?
Yes.
That's very nice. Good. The Bangalore has got everything sorted out for all you IT people.
Yes.
Now make it easy for you.
Yeah, we have done it once.
Okay. So while coming back in the bus, you find one of the tires is burst and the driver doesn't have a spare tire. What will you do?
So one of the tires of the bus is down, and we are stuck on a road.
Yeah, on the roadside, and there is no help around.
So we'll find the contact of the nearest agency on the Google, and then we'll call them for help.
Okay. And suppose they don't come?
Like we'll contact the next agency. Like there's no problem with that.
They're not.
Nobody comes.
Yeah,
Nobody comes.
They'll not come because it's an odd place, and they
Okay,
find
okay.
only for a tire bus to waste their time.
So I'll arrange a taxi and take the driver with us so that we can get the tire, and then we'll return and fix the tire.
Okay. And the rest of the people, 39 odd people, they're getting excited. They all are cursing you.
I'll give somebody the responsibility of keeping the moods up in the bus.
What stuff?
I'll give somebody the responsibility to keep the moods up in the bus.
Okay, in the bus.
Yes.
You think they'll sit in the bus all this while?
Yes, usually they do.
Okay, good. Now, tell me about yourself, how you see yourself after, say, 5 years. This is a common question in the corporate world, but why I'm asking you this is, you are focused in joining the defense forces, army now. But there are always ifs and buts, isn't it? Even if you make it in SSB, no. How do you see yourself, maybe in the armed forces, maybe in the corporate world, or wherever you think you're likely to be after 5 years?
So after 5 years, I want to see myself in wearing the uniform of special forces. I want to be a part of 9 PARASF, and I hope I would be operating somewhere in the regions of J&K and making my unit and my country proud.
Mm-hmm. But why J&K?
That's an area where right now people are very, let's say, not in the very cheerful mood. They were promised free land around a year back, and right now what they have achieved is just lockdowns and strict curfews. So I would like to go there, help not just the country in fighting the militant, but also keeping the people in the right track and keeping the youth on the right track and getting what they really need.
But that's not your job, para SFSP. The army's job is not got nothing to do with the
The
civilians.
civilians, yes.
And to keep them on track or whatever you are thinking of the youth and everything, especially para SF, you will go all over the country. Maybe in a foreign country, you have to operate like in Malaya earlier, they had gone Sri Lanka or any other place. Wherever you go, it is not your job to keep the people on track, isn't it?
Yes.
So why
It is
only
not my
JNK? Why only JNK you have thought of?
it is not my job, obviously, but being a part of SF, it is very essential to maintain your resources and keep the trust of people in you. And to do that, you have to maintain the relations good with public. And I feel that I have an emotional connection with them, and I would like to use it to the country's advantage and try to help them keep them on the right track. Like I want to help the people even when I'm serving in the armed forces.
Okay, now that you have decided to join the army, you have appeared for Air Force SSB. I think Navy also you appeared? Navy SSB?
I've appeared for Air Force only. Air Force and Army. Air Force and Army.
How many times?
Like total, I have appeared 12 times.
Okay.
I've had I was conference out 8 times.
Okay. So tell me about the armed forces. You are so focused in the army. You tell me about the only army now, right? How the organization of the army, what are its tasks, what all it does. Tell me a little bit about its history and the present occupations.
So the motto of the army is service before self, and that's what I think they are mostly known for. They serve the country first, and then they think about themselves. They serve in the various rescue operations, from let it be the natural disasters or the terrorist organizations. They serve in the peace operations of the UN. They they fight to keep the sovereignty of the country intact. They keep the borders on check and maintain our internal as well as external peace from the militants. The division of the organization is such that at first there is a section, then comes the platoon, battalion, company, and our company is brigade. Above battalion is a brigade, then comes a division. There are 37 divisions, which include infantry, infantry, rapid divisions, armored, the current.
Okay. I've got it. Now you just tell me what is happening as it presently, how it started, what is happening, and what is the future likely to be in Eastern Ladakh, where India is facing the Chinese so-called trying to grab our land.
So in August last year, we abolished the 370 Act and declared Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh as two separate union territories. Since then, Pakistan has tried to suppress this move internationally by voicing out the claims of POK and also trying to include the territories of present-day Kashmir into the Pakistani map. Apart from that, China has been supporting this move of Pakistan and claiming that Aksai Chin has been a part of China and not recognizing Ladakh as a union territory of India. So, in around May 2020, China started building its troops in the counter of India building its border roads around Ladakh. After that, in June 2020, China first occupied the first 8 finger area of the Ladakh and tried to enter forcefully into the Ladakh and abolish the status quo. After that, uh, after trying to forcefully take over the patrolling areas, China killed 20 of our Jawans and uh, maintained that India did not kill any soldier on the Chinese side. After that, after multiple commander level talks and talks at the external affairs minister level, China has maintained a 5-point decorum for the border and claimed that we'll maintain a buffer zone and try to reduce the occupation of Jawans on their level as well as on our level. India has maintained that India will not retract any Jawan before China does it, and even after China does it, we'll just reduce our reduce our soldiers on the border and keep maintaining our infrastructure on Ladakh.
So what's likely to happen in future?
What's likely to happen is China. I do not think China has already been in conflicts with the other 17 nations over the territorial disputes, and I don't think China is in mood of backing down. So what can really happen is, as winter arrives, India will continue building its troops and will not move as it intends to maintain its sovereignty, and China will not back down either. And this tussle will remain for around 6 months or so before the winter comes in.
And after 6 months, it will finish.
No, after 6 months, it will be crucial to see what the winters do to the morals of the Chinese soldiers.
Okay. So do you think our Indian government has taken the correct stand or wrong stand? Any reasons for it?
Indian government is right because the accords of China maintains that Aksai Chin is a part of Ladakh. Aksai Chin is a part of China, and India government has always neglected those claims. And I think it's right in India's mindset to maintain the peace over the border. But if India has also stated that anytime now, if China tries to disturb status quo, it has resort to firing. And I think it is in the right move to maintain the status quo right now and to keep the soldiers apart. So I do not think any wrong move over here from Indian side.
Okay. So good. Nice talking to you, Upanshu.
Thank you, sir.
I hope you clear your SSB this time with from coaching from Colonel Prasad, and I will speak to Colonel Prasad about your interview and what is my views on it. Okay. So as of now, you are doing well. I find you very confident and have been doing all extracurricular activities and other things in your life, which the army people require such people who do activities like sports, NCC, things like that. I'm sure one day after 5 years, as you said, you will be in SSF with your physical fitness, yoga, and things like that. All the best.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, take care.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
So you can join me afterwards. Say you put off for 5 minutes. After that, you join me back. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. You switch off, get out from the system again come in. Okay. Let's have a intro round then. Okay. Awesome.
Achha, I find this Upanshu is quite confident, and I don't know, I have not been able to find many reasons why he's not made in so many attempts. Probably earlier he was not expressing himself fully, or maybe not opened up fully, whatever may be the reason. But generally he's
on except for when you look at the 3-4 system that he put at the, he talks about, no, he has got certain problems. Problems are there with him. Problems are there.
Now, what I have found is, one major problem is that little bit he is hesitant, in taking activities or courage especially.
Courage,
At this age, is somebody that
you pushed him across into hitting and he still backs up from the system.
In spite of abusing sister, mother, everything,
he's backing up. So that dynamism, or we can courage part that that's a question that come into play.
That becomes very good. And in spite of all the games, NCC, everything, he has got limited friends. So that way, maybe.
And secondly, with the activities at home, he has not been able to come back to involvement with the family. That
is that family man, like, is because of his family as such. But later on, he has gone to boarding. He should a little bit more friendly, more socially, maybe adjustment, maybe but I think he's got over it by going to boarding school. Now in Bangalore he's doing, but Bangalore also is staying in, I think, one room where he's cooking everything himself, staying with one friend, going for.
And the problem is he has got 2-3 problems are there. There is something about, there is a phobia. There is phobia, there are 2-3 phobias are stuck. His phobia of height iske paas hai, which you said around that is so that is the dard iske paas hai bada hua. Secondly, kya hota hai? He is a person who will get that the effect of, in spite he's trying to hide himself behind the system. When you look at his all the story around there, there is a, though he says he is passive, but he is not passive. He is angry. Okay. Anger comes into play, and that goes beyond the system. On that, there's a 2-3 problems are there. I've only told you on that. But looking at it, by and large, the way that he has talked about it, that's I've just listened to the interview. I think we can't afford to miss out this sort of people.
Correct. That's why I don't know why. That's why I said I don't know why he's not made it. He should have made it.
Reasons are there. Reasons are very simple. He has done psychologically. He was bad. He couldn't afford to. If you look at it, all the story and my comments which are available around there, that's both totally against him. And psychology won't have passed him. And unfortunately, he has gone to a wrong people who have unfortunately decided that.
I fully agree with you in this. Somewhere you find little coaching, but coaching has been done wrongly probably.
Totally wrong. Therefore, he's such a good boy. He's got everything. Thoda sa boost up karke this gentleman could afford to make it on the season. That's the way. That's the way he come back. No, let's see. As far as GTO concerned, he will do well. He will do well. He will do well in the GTO round with his all his input.
Interview also, I think he'll do well. Except for this little courage thing, if he gets caught.
Courage a problem that in case that will come back. That will go. He is basically a person who is short-tempered, who takes who takes control. He wants to do something, but he is not able to sustain it.
Correct.
Problem is persistence, determination. You said determination is there, but determination should be met with the goal. Because goal setting and goal achievement is more important, not the trying. 10 times I have tried. If I'm not, I have to find out what is my fault. And in 10 times, if I'm not able to achieve what is my weaknesses, then there's a problem. So insight, what you talk about, insight gets missed out. Insight, there's a big insight. Insight, there's a big problem. Secondly, but otherwise, he's a conscientious person who would like to perform.
Yes.
That's the way I look at it. I think it's a very nice. It was great talking to you on this system. And